It's kind of sad that he waited so long.
And they called it music.
Well, did you see any
No,
of that?
I actually didn't.
You should see one.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Fun Show. We took a week off, and
It's not the Grammys.
Michael's not playing because he watched the Grammys last night and he's intimidated.
And I have a headache.
Yeah.
A headache.
Yes.
Okay.
It was so strange because they put on good people and then they paired him up with other people who made him sound bad.
And, and they had those people, the robots from France. Did you see that?
Yeah, these guys.
I missed out on the whole thing.
Oh, you
They
didn't
had a
miss
couple of
anything.
guys-
Huh?
They had a couple
Except
guys who won.
3,000 commercials.
They had a couple of guys who won 3 or 4 Grammys who were dressed up like figures from Star Wars.
Yeah.
And they called them the robots, and they're some sort of strange thing. And then I couldn't figure out the people who came up and spoke for them. I couldn't
I don't know
figure
what
out
the
if
heck
they had
were
any
talking
relationship
about.
with them or anything
all
else.
during this whole thing.
Anyway, so
And
you're
why
spared
They were
that-
marrying people in this thing, too.
That's the
We're going
reason
to have to
you're.
go check this out on
right.
YouTube.
Oh yes, they had 33 weddings, which took up about, I think, 62 seconds. of the
Yeah,
whole show.
okay, all right.
Really?
Well, they were man and man, woman and woman, black, white,
And
woman,
a
men,
beautiful
and-
church.
Okay.
And the thing, they were just celebrating.
Yeah.
Marriage for the sake of
Celebrating
marriage.
But a
marriage.
beautiful church set in the background.
Yeah,
I love that.
It was
thing.
very nice, which was a little inappropriate.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to
in
go
any
have to
case,
watch some
but it
clips
still
on it.
took like 62 seconds.
And 2
Which
Beatles
is,
they had.
you know,
there,
half
too.
a second,
Yeah.
half a second per marriage, which isn't too good.
1 second for the Beatles, guys. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they had Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr. Yeah. Ringo was actually beating on the drums. And you know what I liked
beat
about
on
that? That
him,
was the one part of the show that I did sort of like, because they did a new song
Yeah.
Okay.
instead of coming and playing their
know,
old
but
stuff.
I didn't like
Anyway,
it.
so ladies and gentlemen, you are spared this evening the usual musical interlude.
No, you weren't.
I was waiting for this. It's the
Okay.
best part of the
That was
show.
that was the musical. Oh boy, we're in
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah. People said the best part of the show you didn't play. Yeah.
That was the
great.
musical
No.
interlude. Anyway, sitting
Yeah.
behind the keyboard for reasons undetermined, Michael Sallen, our host, producer, leading guru.
2 guys
of
on a
bass.
truck said, "Whose house has that flag in front of it?" And
Yeah.
I said, "Mine." And they said, and they all got out of the truck and saluted me.
They did.
Yes. which I-
Nice.
It's a good thing they don't come around at 2 in the morning and see that it's still hanging out there. You know, I think you're only meant to do that in a national cemetery.
All right, go ahead.
Mike.
Keep going.
See how he shuts
Keep
me
going
up.
with your introduction.
I'm Arch O'Riley, still Arch O'Riley, haven't improved. And
Yes,
we
you
have
have.
Kiera Miner is returning to visit us again, showing her heart and stamina.
And the willingness to suffer for a half hour.
Nope. This is the best part of my day.
So there she is.
Okay.
So that's us. That's what you're getting tonight. And
And Carlos Enriquez is still in jail?
no, he's not in jail. No.
No.
Well, maybe he is in jail.
He
That's
might
true. He
be.
went up to the State House in irons,
That's
right?
correct.
They
Yes.
called him up to an ethics committee hearing.
Yeah.
And they actually brought him to the State House in irons, a
gets-
sitting state rep. That was
He's still getting
dramatic.
60,000 a year.
that
The
was
time's paid out.
unprecedented.
What?
They
Yeah.
didn't even do that with Michael Curley.
I know. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, James Michael
James
Curley.
Michael. Okay.
Um,
Well, you didn't
Anyway,
miss
it's
much.
interesting.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay.
Good.
All right. What else is here?
anyway,
Oh, we
I
can
like
look at?
Carlos.
I like Carl. You like Carlos.
You like a man who beats his girlfriend?
Well, I'm not sure about that part, and I haven't had the information to figure out
Did you know?
what happened there. And if he did in fact do that, no, I don't like
No.
that at all.
Okay.
Did you know that?
But we
did
don't
you
know that it's true.
Pope Francis likes Archbishop O'Malley. Did you know that?
Yes.
And they have a lot in common, and,
And he might
speaks
come
fluent Spanish. The Archbishop.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he might come visit. Well, the Archbishop should speak fluent Spanish. He's from Argentina.
Oh, the
The
Pope.
Cardinal.
The
I mean,
Pope.
the Pope's from Argentina.
Yeah, but
And where was
he was down in South America.
He was, for quite a while.
He was down there for quite
He's
a while.
got that good Spanish name.
He does.
O'Malley.
Yeah, he does. O'Malley. Okay.
I believe that's Irish.
Oh, really?
You believe? Big deal. And you know, I
People
thought,
say to me, "What kind of name is O'Reilly?" I say Serbo-Croatian.
what if this Kim Il-un showed up at the Grammys last night?
Who?
Kim
Kim
Il-un.
Un, yeah, the head of North Korea, that guy who plays basketball with
Dennis Rodman's
Dennis
friend,
Rodman's friend. Yeah,
who
He's
has the nasty habit of killing off his family members who get in his way. But
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
anyways, he didn't show up last night.
I thought you said he showed up.
He should have showed up.
Oh.
It would have been a better show.
he would have fit right in. He would have fit
Got
right
it.
Yeah,
in.
he
Okay.
probably has a
Right.
nice singing voice. I think.
You do.
Yeah, I do.
Anyway, it was very funny because that was on for several hours, and it was theoretically music awards, and by and large they played no music.
But they played. Yes, they did. They had all those commercials with music.
Oh.
Was
Dozens
there
and
any
dozens.
good commercials?
How could you tell? They kept coming for hours. I don't know.
Didn't they replay any of them?
And you sat there and continued to watch.
She said I fell asleep during that.
good for
yeah,
you.
I did.
I was wondering whether your remote was broken.
I would like to.
Did your wife enjoy watching the
No,
Grammys?
she didn't. She didn't. But she's a pretty friendly girl, a young woman, and she's willing to give
But at
everybody
least-
a chance.
At least this year,
Okay.
nobody was naked on stage, right?
I gave her a couple
When
of
were they
ear-
naked on stage prior?
The last one.
The last
Who
one they
was
had
naked?
people around.
Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, she
She
was.
wasn't quite
yeah,
naked.
okay.
Almost naked. We should say almost
Okay.
naked. But apparently I haven't watched the Grammys in 10 years.
Effectively the same. Anyway, the band, here's an interesting part from the Grammys, though. The band that won Best Rock Song or Best Rock Album or something is actually a bunch of kids from Berkeley,
Yeah, I saw
Berkeley
that. yeah.
College of
Nice.
Music.
They had
So,
shoes on though
good for them.
last night. I think I saw.
you have something about Berkeley and shoes?
Well, they
What
don't
is this?
wear shoes there, do they? Most of the time, I don't know. I mean,
I'm not going to touch that one.
all right, okay.
Berkeley
Here's-
does not have 1 square foot of grass in its entire campus, and you think they're running
yeah.
around without
They
shoes?
don't wear shoes.
Even in the winter.
Attorney General Holder,
That's because he
Promises-
doesn't consider sandals shoes. You see.
he promises
Noted.
the New York City Mayor de Blasio to end the police racial profiling. What do you think about that?
Wait, de Blasio or Holder?
De Blasio, well,
I'll just start on
the
Holder. there.
the Attorney General said is telling
He told de Blasio to end racial profiling,
it's going to end. He's going to get it ended.
which is known in New York as stop and frisk.
That's what they call it, stop and frisk. Right.
Right.
What do you think about stop and frisk? You in favor of that, or would you
Well-
be upset if you were driving along and they stopped your car and they said, "Get out, we want to check you for guns and
I'd
stuff"?
be very
Yes, I
surprised
would be,
because I'm
very
the
upset.
whitest white man in the world. That's why I'd be very surprised.
Oh, you think it's racially motivated?
Yeah,
all of that?
Yeah, it definitely is. It absolutely is.
Oh,
Sadly.
well, it's like
First of all, I'm old, and second of all, I'm white.
it reminds me of this problem with the Boston public schools and the fact that they're complaining, the school committee and politicians there, Mayor Walsh and his crowd maybe, they're complaining that there are not enough minority teachers and administrators in the school system.
Well,
What do you think of that?
I think that's probably a good observation. I don't want to.
Because a judge said that 25% of the teachers should be a minority, black or Hispanic. Or
What percentage
Asian.
of the students are non-white?
Well, but what is the
75?
95, 90% almost. 90.
So
But-
don't you think 25 is a rather low
But
number?
they have to get people, though. They have to get qualified people.
Well, they do, and the fact of the matter is they should be working harder on it, because I'm not going to accept the notion that they don't exist and can't be found.
They're not saying that they did there a couple of years back. really hunt for them all over the country.
Yeah.
For people to come. They don't want to come to Boston. Maybe they don't pay them enough. I don't know.
Well, the cost of living is also ridiculous
To
in
move
this area.
to move, let's say, to move from Louisiana up here to Boston from New Orleans.
You'd have to take a year off to learn the accent.
You all? Okay. Well, you know what I'm getting at.
I had a kid in my class at Harvard who came from Okeechobee, Florida.
Okay.
He was the best student in many years at Lake Okeechobee High School. And he dropped out after the first semester because he literally could not understand what the professors were saying.
Nuts.
He was very, very bright, but he spoke a whole different language than what Harvard professors spoke. He said to me before he left, he said, "Arch, I gotta go home. I can't understand a word these people saying here."
What was that? You brought up a topic out there
What?
in the other room, Kiera,
About what?
that you wanted to
jade?
Oh,
Jade.
the stolen jade.
The stolen jade.
Yes,
that
I
they
just
brought from Harvard Museum.
yeah. I was just wondering about. Well, actually, I brought it up to ask you guys, since you guys are Harvard alum. I assume anything Harvard related you'd know about, and neither one of you knew about the stolen jade.
Very
I
good,
knew
very
about it. I read about it too.
I remember.
I did.
Okay.
I remember when it disappeared.
Yeah, you remember? Well,
But it was total news to me that it had been found in Hong Kong.
Yep. Hong Kong.
In an auction house, which means it had not yet been sold.
Well, it might have
Which makes-
passed into different
It
hands.
Yeah.
may have, but in any case, it's being in an auction house makes it that much easier to recover.
Yes.
And it's back.
Yep. Do you remember them actually stealing it as a big to-do at
Yes,
Harvard way
yes.
back when?
Well, actually, it
way
wasn't.
back when.
It was only 35 years ago.
And it wasn't.
That may be way back when to you, but not to me.
It was a squib.
I was alive,
It was
so
a
that's
small
something.
news item in the paper locally.
Okay, so it did come up,
That
like
wasn't
that it
even
was.
half my life.
Yeah, I remember reading about it.
Okay, so it was definitely something that was talked about when it happened.
Yeah, it was. What were they? They were, at the time, they were considered to be like $300,000 worth of
Yeah, they-
stuff or something.
Wow. So that wasn't the only thing stolen then?
They're probably 10 times that much now.
Oh, you mean the value of it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, okay.
But was it the only item stolen at that time, or
I
was
think it was a set of them.
Okay.
All right. Well, so we covered that. Okay.
Check.
We
Done.
got that done. All right. Thanks. And
Pen.
I saw a piece in the New York Times about the Chinese Cultural Revolution of 1966, and now that all of a sudden, he was.
I remember that too.
It was off. It was off the radar. They were very adept at murdering teachers,
The
doctors,
Gang of Five.
anybody that had any kind of college education. They pulled them out and beat them up in the streets. It was
Right,
terrible.
Right, the Gang of Five.
The gang of Now, all of a sudden there's soul searching about this in China.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, that's a surprise.
They're confronting the past instead of burying it.
Wow, maybe this
Alright.
is the beginning of the end of communism in China, because this is the pattern around the world. This has preceded the demise of communism in every country that had a communist system.
That's right.
You know, this sort of opening up about the past and admitting it and stuff has been, in every case, no more than 15 years before communism basically disappeared. So I find this very, very interesting.
If you can't beat them, join them.
Well, we can't beat them.
No.
We can't beat them. They're out educating us, and
Oh.
they're out working us, and they're out inventing us. And
No, I meant if they can't beat, staying communist with the
Well,
internet and everything is
the
just.
thing is, their economy's growing so fast, communism no longer is attractive
Yeah.
to them. The thing is, communism's popularity is inversely proportional to how well your economy's going.
And I
It's
think you
just
got-
history.
And I think you can breathe a little better in China now too, so they have time to
Well,
discuss
actually,
things like this. a
Actually,
little more.
interestingly enough, they say that a high percentage of the smog in Southern California is in fact coming from China.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
That's terrific.
So we not
That's intense.
only get all their products at Walmart, we get their smog in our streets. Interestingly, most of it doesn't make it over the Rockies, though, so
Thank
it's a
you.
California
Okay.
problem. Right?
What do you think the president's going to bring up in his State of the Union speech tomorrow night? I know I'm not going to watch the responses afterwards, but that's
Definitely the environment.
the environment
And healthcare.
and health care,
And probably some immigration.
possible.
Job creation.
Yep.
I wish he'd tell the truth about the obstructionist Congress. I wish he'd show a little guts and bring up the American people, or bring up the fact
The Tea Party crowd,
that
how they're obstructing everything.
that 72% of Republicans now do not believe in evolution or global warming. And they've made it a litmus test. If you accept science, then the Republican Party doesn't want you.
What do you need evolution for? It's all there in the Old Testament, all this stuff.
One of the major Republican office holders at the moment recently gave a speech saying, this is all an attack on Christianity. The world was founded 6,000 years ago.
There it is.
There was nothing before that. Man was created by God in exactly the form he is. If there was any such thing as evolution, the monkeys at the zoo would be turning into people.
What
I
language?
rest my case.
What language did dinosaurs speak? That's the question. You never answer that.
You asked me that.
It was Russian.
I have Russian.
Russian.
It's got to be English.
Oh, well, maybe.
Everything's English.
Everything's English.
It's going to be Chinese soon.
Chinese, anyways. Okay.
Well, speaking of old topics, how about your casinos, my man?
Your sister is involved in that. I don't
My
want to get
sister
into
is.
that.
My sister made a lovely report on the commission's hearing the other day. There were impassioned speeches. I mean, apparently Mr. Wynn's entire family was born in Everett, Massachusetts, according to his presentation.
Well, he went,
All
but he
right.
was out.
Steve Wynn, the owner of Wynn Casinos.
Yeah, but he wasn't even around when he was on the phone when they were talking.
But here's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
The Everett and the Revere people came and made dramatic pitches
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
billions of dollars they're going to roll in, how the highest paid employees are going to be the ones on tips. Can you believe that?
Are you-
And through both presentations, this commission that we're relying on asked not one question.
Well,
Not one question.
Are you in favor of this casinos?
You know, I've learned not to answer that question.
Oh, all right.
Because I'm not educated enough, and it's enough, it's a hot button situation, and every time I think I've got the right side of the position,
Well, the governor is
I
for
learn
it.
quickly that I could be wrong.
The governor's for it. The Speaker of the House is for it. Here in Massachusetts.
There's only one problem. The people aren't.
No.
How do you, they're going to put it on the ballot? You don't answer. Well, let's get on
Actually,
to
they're
this.
putting
It's
Revere
playtime.
back on the ballot. in
Yes,
fact.
that's good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the BATV Unrehearsed Thespian Society's presentation for this evening from right off the front shelf of the vault.
The right shelf. Oh, okay, all right.
What was that, Rochester?
Go ahead. Okay.
Send Rochester
Shelf.
down to the
Shelf.
vault.
Okay, mouth.
Get us a show. It is entitled. No.
You too? Really?
Yeah. My tongue got in the way of my eye teeth, and I couldn't see what I was saying. It is entitled Nuanced.
Nuance. Action.
Guess what, guys? I'm opening up a self-help center.
Is that like a buffet?
For medical assistance, I presume.
Actually, there is a salad bar available.
So you nibble while you register. That's novel.
I don't particularly like veggies.
Dining before the bad news. Not
Could be
good.
good news, you know.
That's true.
The therapist provides the tidings.
Received on a full stomach, I presume.
Very transparent.
And transformative.
What if I need a blood test, etc.?
Yeah, like fasting.
Perhaps you could have a carrot.
A stalk of celery sounds better.
Crunch, crunch.
They're both noisy.
Crunchy apple slices?
Euphonious.
What's that taste like?
Moving on.
Oh. So what else happens in your friendly salon?
The staff makes up samples and scents.
Gender.
Some guys like that stuff.
Okay, but don't let it get too fussy.
So what's next? Treadmills?
Oh, well, you can take a steam, you can take a shower.
And your spa has a whirlpool.
Well, I don't feel that great.
And then just help yourself.
How about a massage? I mean, a message.
We aim to be positive at all times.
Suppose I want to meditate.
Of course, sister.
Plenty of reading materials to browse through.
I can't guarantee the Globe will be there, though. The union's still considering it.
Henry will know, but
But on balance, the place sounds unusual.
Well, you'll like our eclectic choice of music.
I think she's looking better already.
Frankly, my back is killing me.
Oh, improvement is on the way. Try this.
Oh, a pill.
Pain is getting worse.
Okay. Swift action.
Tastes like peppermint.
That's because it is.
The frame of reference is vital.
Yes, contextual.
Now it's a stomach ache.
Visualize clouds.
It's been clear and sunny.
Not in your present mental state.
Now I feel worse.
Well, that's a beginning.
I'm curing myself.
Self-treatment.
Pain is receding.
And do you exercise?
I think about it.
Well, that's fairly constructive.
I think about not thinking of it.
Self-hypnosis?
But I'm suffering.
Are you sure it's really you?
That's a strange question.
In the mirror, it looks like me.
You're identifying with an image in a mirror?
Right. Had her identity stolen last year.
But if it isn't me, who is it?
Precisely why you're here.
She could do worse.
He could do worse.
I feel comfortable.
Still, we have to learn why you think it's you.
I don't think it's her.
You're confusing me.
That's just it.
Yeah, the real you would know it's not her.
Why is she bothering me anyway?
What else has she got to do?
We don't turn away any new clients here.
Then I could bump into her here?
It's highly unlikely, but it is conceivable.
That would be messy.
What would I say to myself?
Something totally uninteresting.
Oh, this is very fascinating.
I'm mixed up.
Who wouldn't be?
Well, we can resolve this impasse.
I think I'm feeling better.
What about her?
That's a silly question.
It's your establishment.
The money comes from a hedge fund.
That's perfect.
What if I'm only a derivative?
Ridiculous. You've not even been evicted.
But if she's foreclosed on?
I've got a deed for my house.
Yes, but have you read the fine print?
It's my credit card.
The other you stole it, remember?
Not to worry, we can iron all this out.
Now I'm sick and worried.
You could always get a second opinion.
Hey, I got a psychotherapist who could help.
I'll bet it's sleep deprivation.
That's been a problem for me.
I'll take 2 aspirin and call in the morning.
And sitting in a cold bath can help, though.
But I scratch a lot.
Sometimes the answer is radical.
She should become a vegan.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Lots of fruit, why not?
But she's a meat eater.
Then the only solution is banishment.
I can get rid of her.
Easy for you to say.
These events work out.
You mean?
Recovery can be vexing.
But there's hope.
Then she's half there.
We've eliminated the other.
And I got my credit card back.
That's what patience can do.
We're all in that great mainstream.
Well, you have to be careful of the undertow.
It's all so graphically clear.
So, you've overcome your doubts.
Re-identifying with yourself. Great.
Well, I've had enough.
See? Self-help did it.
And I've got health insurance.
Weren't your teeth bothering you?
Now that you mentioned it,
I'm sorry, unfortunately, we're very busy.
She seems more satisfied.
yes, I see things more clearly.
Well, drop by any time.
I guess self-help begins at home.
Hey, what are you trying to do? Ruin my business?
But we can count on him.
That's what friends are for.
Bravo. And
Blackout.
Okay. All right.
Well done.
All right, folks, there we are.
There we are.
From the vault.
From the vault.
Nuanced.
Okay.
Write it down. You never know when it may reappear.
I was reading about this fellow, the banker, James Dimon. Goldman, and
His name was Diamond Goldman?
No,
or he
his
was at
name was
Goldman Sa-
Diamond.
he was
Diamond
at
or
Goldman
Goldman.
Sachs? He was at Goldman Sachs.
Yeah. He was arguing about his bonus. They said there was a man in the bank in London that lost $6 billion for them, so he shouldn't get a bonus. But he said he should get a bonus, and it should only be 13 million. There were
Only 13 million.
13 million. Well, he ended up getting the
disgusting.
bonus. That's
Oh,
the
really?
point. Okay.
It is so ridiculous.
That's just offensive.
It is so ridiculous.
I don't know why they didn't give him a Rolex or something like that with it. Usually that's,
Maybe they
Maybe,
did.
yeah, we don't know
they
all the
could
other
have done
little
that. Yeah,
trinkets.
That's just considered party favors in their circles. You know?
Well, okay. Well, that's the way you guys think about it.
Yes.
What about raising the minimum wage? Is that when you think about the 13 million bonus? Do these people in the fast food places deserve another buck or two?
Well, if I could,
I would say yes. I'm going to go with yes. on that.
yes.
I'm
If
going
I
to
could
support
get a-
that.
if I could get a space in the debate,
Yeah.
which of course I can't.
You can't.
I don't know.
I would suggest the minimum wage be 13 million.
Okay. Well,
Because I'll
I don't know
tell
that
you,
that's practical.
hey, the guy at McDonald's is doing more for the world than the guy at Goldman Sachs.
I don't know. McDonald's is not very healthy for you, so I think it's all relative.
Actually, McDonald's is getting relatively healthier.
No, they're marketing healthier. It does not actually mean
well,
they're
well
getting
all
healthier.
these guys with all this money, and then we have the generals and the admirals, and they're supposed to be preventing or telling the troops, don't assault anybody anymore. Don't sexually assault anybody anymore. But it turns out that the admirals and the generals are involved with other schemes that they have going on after working hours.
Like what?
Well, doing things that they shouldn't be doing if they're married, you know.
Okay.
There is such a thing.
What, do they think they're in the Secret Service?
Well, I can't.
They must,
I can't
you
answer
know.
that, but they're telling the troops one thing, and then they're going out and doing it.
Here's the question. What do we pay generals and admirals?
What do we pay them?
We must not pay them anything compared to Goldman Sachs.
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
You know,
All right.
here's guys, they're in charge of billions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of men and women, lives are on the line, and they probably get paid better than teachers, but I wonder what they get paid. Nobody ever talks about what
the
generals
pay the
get
generals
paid.
get.
You know, we're going to have to talk about this at on the next show because we're going to have
Yeah.
to do some research
Well,
and find the answer to this.
It may be classified material. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's infidelity too. They get paid for that also. Yeah.
Do you get paid for that? No, generally you pay for that.
You
Yeah.
pay for. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Generally
these
you pay
guys
for that.
these guys are having a good time.
When you
it's-
divorce your general husband, do you have to go to a military court or can you go to a civilian court?
I think it's a civilian court.
That would be bad if you had to go to a military court.
Yeah,
You know?
it'd probably not work out too good for her.
Well, the little sisters don't have to come up with
The Little Sisters? Is it
Little
the Little
Sisters,
Sisters of the Poor or what?
The Little Sisters of the Poor, but we don't have much time to talk about it.
Oh.
But they don't have to give out the pills anymore or pay for abortions and stuff like that. That came out this past week. There was a judge that stopped it. Anyways, I hate to bring this up.
This is the consequence. This is the consequence of a whole bunch of right-wing fanatic judges who were appointed by the Bushes while they were in there.
Oh, it's
And-
a little strong, isn't it, my friend?
No, it's not strong at all.
Oh,
they are
okay.
they are taking their Bible and replacing the United States Constitution with it.
All right, if that's
On
how
that
you
note.
feel. We're ending. Check your watch.
Good night, Irene.
Good night,
Irene.
Slow it down.
Irene, good night. Irene,
Good night.
We'll see you in our dreams. Good night, Irene. Good night, everybody. From the fun
Thank you,
show here
guys.
at BATV. We'll see you here, same time, same station next week.
And we might be dancing too next week.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Could have
Only if we get volunteers to man the cameras.
Well, we maybe Kiera will
I
come
will
in.
bring my dance shoes.
All right.
And then we'll look like the Ellen Show.
Well, it certainly has been fun being with you folks.
It has been fun.
And
at some time, they'll take us off the air. In the
in
meantime,
the
we'll just
meantime,
talk at you.
We'll have you keep going. And I